Hey everyone, hope you've been doing well. This is Ethan, and we're going to be going over the November 2023 trading recap. In this video, we're going to go over my monthly P&L for November. We're also going to go over my best trade of the month, my worst trade of the month, and my thoughts going into the end of the year and into early 2024. So if you do enjoy this video and these types of videos, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. So with that being said, let's hop right into it. So on the screen here, this file is shared with all of my members, and I try to be as transparent as possible with all of my trading. So you can see my sizing, when I get in, when I get out, and all of my P&L and statistics. So you can kind of see above here, these are my statistics for the year so far, as well as going down here. I did block out some of this. I do want to save some of the rest of the data for another video and really just focus on the November month for this video. So this month I did profit, thankfully, and we did profit $20,769.04 for the month, which is very, very great. I'm very grateful for this, and I'm kind of go over what I found success in for the month. And I do want to say and disclose this is my best month that I've had on record. So very, very psyched about it, and I'm going to try to stay as objective as possible, and just so we can get some education out of this. But a few points that I do want to make is discipline. I really, really focused on having a lot of discipline this month, meaning I was not afraid to put on some size in my conviction plays and where I found opportunity in the market. November was quite a crazy month where we essentially short squeezed in the market upwards across the indices. And there was a lot of opportunity that presented itself this month. So, seeing that conviction, having that conviction, and putting size where you do see that. Another thing is, it's a pretty simple thing, but just planning and prepping with, the daily charts, watch list, just being prepared going into the day. You never want to go into the trading day without a plan, because that's really what leads to emotional trading to start with. And you're either going to get lucky or it's just not going to go well for you. So yeah, those are really the main things that I want to highlight this month. But we'll hop right into the best trade of the month. So I've hopped over to trading view here, and this is ROKU. So you can kind of see I've highlighted in green where I entered with a circle and then exited with a circle as well in red. So notes for here. We did enter this trade. This is a swing trade that we entered on November 13th and exited on November 28th, right at the end of the month. So reasoning for entry on this, we had a very, very big gap up from earnings early November on ROKU. They had very good earnings. And after earning gap up, we continued to run. So we had a very good gap and go here, and we did consolidate for quite a while from the 3rd of November all the way to the 13th. So a good 10 days of consolidation. Towards the end of this consolidation, we did identify a pretty classic bull flag, and seeing this flag pattern play out after such a strong gap up run was very enticing for me. And I did enter at quite a good spot here into the 85 strike calls for the December 29th expiration. And we did get in for 3.84, and we rode this all the way to the end of November for 12.84 exits. I do believe this was about 10 contracts personally. So this did end up having a $9,000 profit on the single trade, or a 234% gain. One of the things we did really well in this particular position is that we trimmed profits along the way up to manage risk. If I did hold this position in its entirety all the way to my exit point, this would have been a much higher gain. However, I did see, this was kind of a grind up, and taking profits along the way was very healthy for the move, and we kept moving our stop loss higher and higher along the way as well to manage our risk very well. Another thing that I want to highlight about this position is we got an extremely, extremely good entry point and a fairly good exit as well. We almost timed the top on this leg up. So, and we also timed the bottom tick on this move as well. So this was a very, very good entry and exit. And I did read price action very well in this particular trade. I do, want to note that I never intend to try to catch the entirety of the move. I believe that taking profits and getting in on partial moves is enough to make money. However, this is just one of the cases where it was a very, very good instance, and we caught nearly the entire move on this entire move. So good trade there. And I had a plan executed based off of it. Kind of alluded to this in the beginning when I explained why we got into the trade. I've been eyeing this, trade for over 2 weeks. Just watching it, and we finally got our entry point, and we rode it all the way up. So yeah, $9,000 profit on this one trade. Very, very good for the month. And yeah, we will move on to the next one. So now going to my worst trade of the month. This one here is Tesla. Zoom in a little bit. So again, you can see here on the white circle, this is where we entered the trade, and this is where we exited the trade. You can see fairly flat price movement, and this was not a great trade. So I do want to be as transparent as possible with everybody. And, I'm not only going to show my winners, I'm also going to show my losers. And this was one of them. So notes here, we bought this trade after we touched this upper trend line, and we began to consolidate. And we got this falling wedge pattern, which is a bullish pattern. And we bought into this towards the bottom and just bouncing off this bottom wedge. However, the next day, we did come down and opened up price action below this wedge. So right then and there, that's a big lesson learned where we should have sold for a loss, and just a paper cut loss right at this moment. And at this moment, my sizing wasn't too big either. It was just, a normal sizing position. However, afterwards, I kept adding to my position multiple times as we kept grinding lower to average down my original cost. However, that is something that is a big no-no. And, after the first day, the original thesis and reasoning why we even got into this trade was broken. So, averaging down continuously was just hoping that we'd go back up, which we did eventually go back up higher. So next point was we were extremely oversized on this trade, and I risked half of my November profits. So I did end up losing about 50% of my total November profits on this one trade. So wasn't the best management at all. And it is something to learn. I am grateful that, we didn't blow the account, and, we did still come out significantly green on November because of how great of a month it was. However, that is, no excuse for having poor risk management and allowing a trade to go this much in the red. So next thing is that we did not buy enough time for a swing trade. So this was intended to be a swing trade. However, I didn't buy enough time on this, and I held the contracts for far, far too long. I believe we held the contracts 2 or 3 days before expiration. So it was very, very cutting close, and theta was eating into our contracts quite significantly, and that affected the price of our contracts. So to reiterate, we did enter these Tesla 247.5 calls for the December 8th expiration at 5.11 on November 29th, and did exit this position Wednesday, December 6th at 1.27 for a $23,800 loss. So yeah, lesson learned on this one. And if we do zoom out, the idea of the trade was all right. We did end up consolidating for quite a while into mid-December until we did finally break out of this trend line, and for quite a big move. So right idea, really poor execution, and really poor management of the trade, and poor entry as well, obviously. But yeah, that is where we stand for that one. So next up, I want to talk about my thoughts into the end of the year and for 2024. So I'm going to be going over a few charts: SPX, QQQ, IWM, and VIX. So for SPX here, you can see we've had quite a big move off of this end of October, early November low. And this is kind of what I meant, where we had a very explosive November. There's barely any red candles on this chart over here on towards the right side. And there's a lot of opportunity to be taken here. So as you can see, we have broken out of all major trend lines, and we're still sitting comfortably above all of them. We are approaching this demand zone up here towards the top, and I do expect us to be testing this all-time high region by the end of the year. I do expect that we are going to come up to this 48.18 to 48.20 level before we do see some sort of retracement. And I do believe a retracement from this region is very, very healthy. Going to QQQ, very similar situation here, where we did have that similar melt up from November. And you can see there is quite a bit of strength in QQQ, where we are very, very close actually to all-time highs. We're about $2 away on Qs. So I am fairly confident that we're going to test or make new all-time highs by the end of the year. And from there, we do want to see how price reacts. However, a pullback or a consolidation from this region is going to be very healthy because we do want to see us, form a good support level from this area. So, yeah, that is my views on that. IWM is next up. So we can see that has been lagging quite a bit against the other two charts that I just showed. We have broken out of this diagonal trend line as well, which is very good to see, which we actually did play this breakout, which is nice. I do expect higher, and it is a little tough to see where we're going to head from here as we have gapped up, and we have created, we might create an island here where I am expecting us to put in a short-term top fairly soon. However, I do believe that dips will be fairly viable, and we should see higher. So I will, not be taking any positions in any IWM yet, and I want to see this digest first. However, with more candlesticks on the chart, we'll be able to get a better picture and see where we head from there. But I do believe dips are going to be viable. And lastly, I do want to go over VIX. So this here is a weekly chart on VIX, and historically, really the main thing you need to pay attention to here is this green box at the bottom. Historically on VIX, we have seen this green box region held as a demand zone and a low. And, VIX here acting as volatility index, we can see that volatility is almost at a all-time low, as we've, seen reflected in the markets with a melt up. However, it is very, very early to be forming this falling wedge bullish pattern for VIX, since we don't have many tests of the upper trend line. However, I do want us to be, cautious as we have, tagged this historical demand zone on VIX, and we are, due for some volatility. So I do expect this to kind of support my thesis of, a continued bullish run on indices until the end of the year of 2023. And we may see some profit taking into early 2024 in January. And we can see, this is starting to set up to look like that as we, fill out the rest of this wedge into the end of the year. And I would be a little bit cautious going into the new year. I'm not calling for any sort of market crash or anything. This is really just a reminder that we are hitting, a historical demand zone on volatility. So yeah, Other than that, that is all I have for charts to share with you guys. So yeah, thank you all for your patience in getting this video out. I know this is a little bit late for November recap, but I do appreciate your patience. And I've been, playing around with a new mic setup, so I do hope that this is a higher quality for you. I want to keep improving and giving you the best content possible. But yeah, happy holidays to everybody, and do hope to see you all in the new year. We will be providing a December update and a 2023 in full recap as well. So look out for those videos next. If you do have any other questions, comments, concerns for me, please do leave them in the comments section below. And I will also leave the Discord that I put all of my alerts in. I share all of my thoughts and everything in real time. And if you even just want to join a community that has a bunch of like-minded traders, this is the place to be, and we're here to help you. So I'll leave those links down in the description for you to check out if you're interested. And yeah, thank you everybody, and have a good rest of your day. I'm not the girl